Only Murders in the Building, Season 2. That's right, folks. This show somehow, against all odds, managed to get a second season. I know that's weird to say, but I didn't think in 2021 we'd be in a world where Steve Martin and Martin Short are leading a streaming series on television that's well received, well loved, an awards darling. It didn't seem like it happened. That first season came out of nowhere, surprised the world of how great it was, great writing, great characters, great story, and it explored different types of genres within the world of podcasting, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. And then you're like, okay, is this going to be the sophomore slump where we had an award-winning first season? Can we manage to make it work for season 2? The truth is, yes. Now, I'd have to go back and watch these two in succession to really feel like, okay, which one is the better season? I would honestly put them on the same level. There is something to like about both of them. I do think the first season is a little more streamlined and just had its story set out a little bit more intact, but I really enjoy this show. It is just so nice to have a genuinely funny comedy that doesn't feel like it has to make a reference every 10 seconds to something people understand. It doesn't feel it needs to pander to its audience. It can take time for the joke, because there's literal moments in this show where we just pause on silence. Nobody's saying a word. We're just dealing with everything going on, and then we have a comment. It's so slow in that aspect, and I appreciate it for that. And the humor is there immensely. The jokes are funny. Every character kind of gets their moment to shine. The writing is as sharp as ever. It's really good. And I know I could sing the praises of the Martin and Martin forever, but you got to commend both of these guys. Steve Martin just turned 77 recently, and Martin Short will be turning 72 very soon. And you're just like, how are these two men in an older age bracket still whipping it out better than the best of them? It's unbelievable. It's so fascinating and so brilliant to see these two veterans of this field are you know what we should do right now? A streaming show about podcasting and about murder. 3 genres where their demographic doesn't normally work. So the end of the first season, we teased this one with the murder of Bunny. And this whole season is about who killed Bunny. And as the story unravels, it kind of gets lost in the weeds a little bit. There's certain things where it's setting up this doesn't go to that way. Maybe too many new characters are introduced that don't have an impact. But I think it's handled very well. Towards the later half of the season, it really finds its footing a little bit more so, especially that last episode where it's okay, now all the plots are connecting into something special. Couple of dead ends here and there that don't really add into the story, but hey, it's not bad. I don't hate it. It works well. And again, the praises of Martin and Martin are great. Selena Gomez is the unsung hero of this show because she has to do the hardest thing in the world and play the straight man to the 2 funniest men alive. And the fact that she can do that immensely and with power is really cool. You see why this girl is a talented actress, because she is. She is smart, she is capable. She gets a lot to do here, and a lot of the more emotional beats do come from her storyline, where it's her whole world has kind of been surrounded by this type of event, these types of deaths, and how can she really escape it? Very fascinating stuff. If there's one criticism I do have this season, it is the introduction of Cara Delevingne. And I say this as somebody who loves Valerian. You can't make me like Cara anymore. There's just something about her energy that I don't buy. And I guess that's a testament that she's a great actor, because she's so stiff in this, and in real life she seems like a person you don't want to hang out with. So I commend them for letting her do that thing, but that whole storyline, it felt too forced, and I don't think it resolved itself perfectly. But I don't hate where it went sometimes. I like this stuff with Amy Schumer. I like this stuff with Tina Fey. Other guest stars show up in here that I don't want to spoil for you. And you're oh man, they're definitely playing against type. And I'm that is really cool. The fact that this show, again, it knows how to cast people of a varying degree of excellence. Not just in terms of just performance or person of color, but of age, of disability, of storytelling. It's so unique to see a show on this scale where it's you have these different types of people presented in equal footing. That is really cool to see. Surprising people returned from last season, and that's really fun to see. The new additions are very interesting. I think this show is just incredibly smart. It worked on every conceivable level. Every part of it just landed so effortlessly and made for something truly interesting. And you don't see a lot of that. Like, sometimes these kind of comedy shows, they get lost. You know, they try too hard. This one, it feels effortless. And that is like a blessing all the same, and something that will never cease to amaze me, because it's so hard to do this authentically. And from somebody who spends a lot of time actually talking about the world of podcasting and podcasting, to have a show genuinely understand that world and how it has an effect on people's minds and their ideas and how it is kind of your whole fucking life. That is accurate. And I just love seeing that world presented in such a positive way, because that is not something we get to see a lot. A lot of times in media, the podcasting character is kind of like the joke doofus boo-boo. But this, it's like, no. They're respected because of it. People listen to them, they understand their opinions, but they form their own. And I'm like, this is a good, accurate depiction of that world. You couple that on with like a really interesting murder story that goes into a lot of unexpected ways, with great performances from everybody. There are moments in this season where I think Steve Martin is genuinely delivering some honest performances that we haven't seen from him in a long time. Martin Short, again, he's super strong in this. He's the most funny. They let him go a little more crazy. There's a whole bit where they're trying to climb upstairs and he needs to leave his dip behind, and it's really funny. Selena Gomez, she's great. You know, like this, you wouldn't think this grouping would work on paper. Of course, you know Martin's going to be fun. But throwing Selena Gomez in there, did you really think it would work? Well, we got 2 seasons of it. A third one is on the way. And I just have to imagine, like, if I was 78 years old, like Steve Martin's potentially going to be at the time of the 3rd season, would I be able to deliver such an excellent and graceless performance like he does? And the truth is, I don't think I could. I think this is just showing you he's a one-in-a-generation talent, and all of these people, just put them in a room, let those ideas flow, you create something truly wholeheartedly original that we don't see enough of anymore. So Only Murders in the Building, few flaws, a couple things that don't go anywhere, but perfect storytelling. If you are a teacher of film and you're like, you want to show like a condensed storyline, you pick one episode of this show and you see how just a minor character's ideas can play into a larger narrative, and you get a better flow of a character. Kind of brilliant in that way. So Only Murders in the Building Season 2, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.